Hello everyone and welcome to Blaugrana Everything and welcome back to the channel and welcome to yet another victory for Barca, making it 12 wins in a row here with a 2-0 win over Racing Club Santander. And well, it wasn't so comfortable with this one, I think the El Clasico on Sunday was way more comfortable for Barcelona. With this one, of course, Racing Club did push quite a lot for Barca, but Barca getting that late 2-0 goal, the second goal, 2-0 goal, getting a late second after the scoring was opened by a brilliant, honestly, goal by Ferran Torres, assisted by none other than Fermin, press a ninja and take the shot Lopez. And look, I'm just glad that Barcelona were able to get through this, because we all saw what happened to other teams just 24 hours earlier. Real Madrid. Anywho, let's not focus too much on losers, and let's continue to talk about the fact that Barca were able to claim this 2-0 win. And like I said, it wasn't the most comfortable of victories here for FC Barcelona, right? Like, we could see it all from the stats. It was a pretty close game. Barca did, of course, dominate more of the big chances, but you won't see a lot of Santander's, big chances coming up here on the stats, just simply because these dudes were caught offside like maybe 12 times or something like that. They had quite a few offside calls against them, which were correct, by the way. They did score twice from offside positions. And at the end of the day, Barca did also need some big saves here. I would say a big save, a big intervention from none other than, of course, Joan Garcia to be able to secure the win. And I have to say, I kind of get it. When Flick says that he wants Joan Garcia in the team because he feels safe with Joan Garcia there, I completely get it. This was just one of those nights where you just felt safe. I never really thought that Barca were going to concede that many, though I should admit, the way that both teams were set up, I expected a bit more goal scoring action in this one. I was thinking maybe, we could get a goal or two for Racing and maybe, 3 or 4 for Barcelona. And, well, Barca did have their fair share of chances, which they could have scored from. Maybe could have easily scored 4 in this one. But just starting from the lineup here, you do wonder sometimes, like, if Real Madrid hadn't been knocked out last night, do Barcelona start a team as strongly as this? Do Barcelona start a team that's as strong as the one that we saw? We've got Lamine Yamal here. We've got Dani Olmo. We've got Ferran Torres, who you could argue is probably Barca's starter, but you can see the back line is Barca's more or less starting back line these days. Balde, Gerard Martin, Kubarsi, and Jules Koundé. And I was expecting that we would see some rotation, especially in the back line. I was thinking Koundé wouldn't play this one. I was thinking we might see João Cancelo make his second debut for Barca. I was also thinking that Yamal wouldn't play this one, that we might see Rooney Bardaj get some minutes. And it's a shame that he didn't get to get on the pitch here, because I felt like this game suited him a bit more than it did Yamal, just simply because, okay, you just need Yamal to rest as much as possible, right? Let's just be honest. And he wasn't able to get that rest here, so hopefully it'll come at some point soon. But aside from that, the Racing Club, they were pretty a stern test for Barcelona. Okay, they set up pretty well. It was 0-0 at halftime, of course. It could have been 1-0. Dani Olmo did have a pretty good chance after he was set up by Marcus Rashford. And, the fact that he didn't score from that, it made the Racing players get more comfortable, more confident. You know how this goes, With these teams, a lot of people, who are fans of like EPL, for example, or maybe Bundesliga or Serie A as well. A lot of them might, say past sentiments that make it look like in Spain it's really just Barca, Real Madrid, and maybe Atleti every now and then, and you don't really see much, of a challenge for the big teams. But I think, like we've seen from this Copa del Rey here, okay, today Barca's match, yesterday Real Madrid's match. And before that as well, we saw Celta Vigo as well, knocked out by Albacete. These teams can give you a game, okay? There are plenty of teams here. This was very much a top of the table clash type of affair between Barca and Racing. Like, honestly, this is how I expected El Clásicos to be going, where both teams are having to push the pull, that kind of thing. Not one team just, parking the bus and sitting back and waiting just to hit on the brake. No, like Racing Club were taking the front foot when they could. I mean, it won't obviously be borne out in the stats, because from the stats here we could see, possession. Where's the possession stat? Why is this? Like suddenly the possession stats disappear. I could swear I had it just here. Anyway, just we could assume, okay, from 700 passes versus 200 passes, maybe got like 3 times as much. So this was like a 60-30 kind of setup, which it ended up being like that as well against Real Madrid, but it shouldn't be, because Real Madrid should be able to play on equal footing with FC Barcelona. Anywho, tough tests on the night, definitely for Barca. Like you can see, though, they were still able to create their fair share, and there was in particular a nice double save that the Racing goalkeeper made off of Lewandowski and Fermin Lopez in the second half when Barca were looking for that second goal. And, well, it was just a good, entertaining match. There's honestly not much else that I could say here. It was different from, Barca's previous, fixture in the Copa del Rey, where, you could see a bit more of park the bus football being played then. Well, with this one, though, like I said, Racing were there for it. And, oh, by the way, I almost forgot, Yamal almost scored with an Olympico. Yeah, he almost scored directly from a corner kick. So, the ratings might not be as high as maybe you would expect for Barca playing the team that is top of the second division. But, like I said, these matches are difficult, especially when you're going to go away from home, and especially when, the opposition goalkeeper is getting a 7.8, meaning he's putting on a show. He's doing his best. But aside from that, this man right here, he got player of the match from SofaScore. I honestly can't think of anybody else who he could have given it to. I mean, maybe you could look at somebody like Ferran, who had a good impact coming off of the bench. But I think it's just about right. Man of the match going to Joan Garcia, and Barcelona marching on, able to continue their title defense for the Copa del Rey. And man, it's probably going to be a bunch of Negreira news coming out soon, with everything that's happening in the capital. If Real Madrid do not win this weekend, oh my goodness, big development in the Negreira case. We're going to see the headlines. Anyway, you let me know what you thought of Barcelona's performance. Aside from that, I thank you all for tuning in. Do have a great day, and Forza Barca.